ever give yourself whiplash? Because I do. And something that happened post ADHD diagnosis was the feeling of being a walking contradiction, okay? Because when I was learning about my traits, I was like, I do this, but I also do this. But I need this to happen. But if I get that, that's going to make me overwhelmed. When you try and explain how you need support to other people and you're being pushed and pulled in your own mind, it's so difficult. For example, we need clarity, but too much information at once overwhelms us. And I have the most perfect example for this, right? Whilst I was getting diagnosed like 3-ish years ago now, I was also working full-time in an office, and I told them that I'd been diagnosed, right? I told them the best communication for me would be to receive everything in writing so that I don't miss any instructions, I don't forget anything, and I can refer back to certain parts in my own time. And I shit you not, in less than 24 hours, I returned back to the office, 9 AM, first email I open, 3 scrolls long of information, details, what I needed to do that day. 3 scrolls. Do you know how lengthy that boy was? My brain saw all of that and crashed out. I was immediately overwhelmed. In fact, I started crying. I started crying at my desk, and I had to go to the bathroom and gather myself. But I asked for that, yeah? I had to sit with myself and be like, but that is how I prefer information. Why do I feel like this? I don't understand it. It's so contradictory. If I'm confused at myself, then everyone else must be confused at me. Oh, I need this, but this could happen if I get that. So as we're speaking in real time, we might not sound assured. I've learned since that having as much information written down as possible is my preferred communication style. It is more helpful for me. But now I know when I receive lengthy emails like that, I know to open it and don't read it all straight away. Don't even scan it all. Scan over the first few lines, go away, make a drink, and then come back to it and go through it in parts. It also helps it not being the first thing that you look at 9 AM. Especially if you're someone that works in an office as well. You would have just finished the commute of doom, which always used to put me in fight or flight. You might be late for whatever reason, but everyone else's reactions puts you on edge. She's late again. Why the fuck does it matter? Like, I'm here now and I will still do all of my work. God forbid I'm 7 minutes late. All of those things will make your nervous system dysregulated. You'll be braced for impact already. So the moment you open your emails at 9 AM, you've got War and Peace waiting for you. It's just a big fat overwhelming mess waiting to happen, isn't it? The fact it's a one-way ticket to overstimulation nation, if we're in a hot, stuffy, open plan office with fluorescent white lights beaming down on us, but we ain't got a problem popping puss for 7 hours straight on a crowded dance floor. When you try and explain that to people who ain't neurodiverse, it's like piss to the wind, honestly. You just sound like you chat and breeze. How does that make sense? But it does, and actually there are scientific reasons that back it. Places like offices, supermarkets, train stations, airports, they're all unpredictable. And we need some sense of control. If you've got Julie standing over you at your desk while you're in the middle or something, you've got the fluorescent lights like at the top of your eye line, you can hear John and Sue on a call 3 desks down, the aircon's not working. You will be sent into orbit. You will be so dysregulated because you couldn't plan for any of those things. Whereas at the rave, this is chosen stimulation, not over or under, just stimulation. We know what we're in for, and the rhythm, especially at house and techno raves, is predictable. In fact, our bodies can actually sync up with the beats and it becomes quite like meditative, right? Regulating, because we get used to it. It's also dark, the movement of the floor, and impulsivity is in our DNA. We live for spontaneity. But if we do not have routine or structure, we will fall apart. And I won't even realise it. I start feeling a bit uncomfortable. I'm like, Why? Oh yeah, my routine. I need that. And it could be the slightest change in routine. It's just something so small that will throw the entire thing off. It could be like your headphones being dead and you're about to go on a run, or your train is late or cancelled, or it's decided to be 35 degrees. Things like holidays or working away, they can really mess us up. We are the people to be like, fuck it, should we just go tomorrow? We'll just book it, we'll go tomorrow. Books the last minute trip, and then we'll be emotionally destroyed because our morning routine has gone to shit. I've never actually found a way to stop it from falling apart, because nothing goes perfect ever, does it? And inevitably, if we want a fun life, we are gonna have to let our routine fall apart sometimes. But there is one thing that I try and stick to as much as possible, and that is just having one small anchor that you can do no matter what. Because something is better than nothing every time. If you can't go for that full hour at the gym or a run, but you can go 20 minutes, still go. I swear by as well, because I'm unmedicated, I choose to be unmedicated. If anyone wants me to talk about medication, by the way, I am happy to do that, but I choose to be unmedicated, and the only thing that gets me through the day is if I get up and move my body immediately in whatever way. It could be a walk, it could be a run, it could be having a little dance around the gaff, like whatever it is, you have to move. And I've tried a lot of things as well. I've tried moving later on in the day, at lunch. Nothing helps my traits more than moving my body first thing. Otherwise I'm just a heinous individual, yeah? So if you are unmedicated and hanging on by a thread, I would give it a go. It's going to be hard the first few days, but it does get better, and you can make it a game. This is something I really want to do, is get like a sticker chart, and every day that you get up and move your body first thing, you get a sticker. We love novelty. Another thing that is quite contradictory, we are also quite confident and outgoing people. Even when I meet, you know, introverted people with ADHD, we do share this sort of outgoingness, I found anyway, but we don't like to be perceived. I use my voice and put myself out there online, and I will say something in person if I disagree with something now. I love the dance floor. I love wearing the brightest, clashiest prints in the room, but from being late diagnosed, I still have a lot of moments of doubt. I was always told growing up, oh, you can't do that, or you're too this, too that. And all of those things are just going around in soup in my head. I have to actively work every day to stop me drowning in the soup. For other people around you, like they wouldn't really know that, because they just think you're confident, you're chatty. But people will have a lot of projections of you. They might see you as that. And then when you do have moments of doubt, not wanting to be perceived, needing reassurance, people don't really get it. They're sort of a bit like, oh, but that's not the fun brain that I signed up for. You were the fun brain like 10 minutes ago. And that's a bit shit, to be honest. And we'll end on this one. We take things so literally, whilst also fluent in humour. My humour's quite dry. Most ADHD people I meet are funny as fuck, which other people would probably read as like quite light-hearted, don't take themselves too seriously, even though we take things literally. That is where the miscommunication is, I think. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where someone said something in a group, and because we're late processors, it's not landed yet, but the whole group is laughing, so you just laugh. And then you're like, oh, I actually don't find that funny. It just weren't appropriate for whatever reason. It just didn't land with you, but you've already laughed, and now we can't unlaugh. And I've been in that exact situation before and had to bring it up with someone the next day after I'd fully processed what had happened. But their response is like, what? What are you talking about? Because you were laughing yesterday. And you're just there like, yeah, I know. Because we're right, but they're also right, because they're like, well, this has already happened, so I just need to say, if that happens to you in the future, always say something, even if it is the next day. Because someone who respects you and who genuinely wants to try and understand you won't be jarred. We're doing our best to navigate through life with brains that literally pull us in all directions, and there are other people who can be shit about it, but there are other people who genuinely want to try and understand. But it's also questions we take literally. What's your favourite track? What's your favourite film? Neurotypical people might answer so quick with a track that's on repeat for them currently, or a childhood favourite film. But we take it so literally, we start rooting through the archives, going through this genre, a subgenre, and then you're like, no, but this track exists. Can't possibly just pick one. But it's never actually that literal. And something else that used to fuck me up all the time when working in an office, your colleague or your manager would say something like, oh, how's your day going? And what they meant was they want an overview of what your day is looking like, what you've done, what you're planning to do. They don't literally mean, how is your day going? So when I used to respond with, oh yeah, so good, I'm doing this later and I've had this for lunch and this is how my therapy session went this week, I would always get the most strangest looks back. I feel like we find the humour in a lot of things and have such a talent of making things light-hearted. And I love that about us, but we also take conversations quite literally. But obviously we're intelligent enough to know that two things can be true at the same time. So although we are whiplash personified, we need to give ourselves permission to exist as we are. We don't need to over-explain ourselves to anyone. Hopefully I managed to break down some of the contradictions you might have been wondering about after diagnosis, because they used to confuse me so much. See you next week, NeuroDivas.